The Don's going to help me out with this one today, and that's because I'm pretty annoyed right now. And the reason for that is because I'm sick and tired of people pretending like they don't understand why certain things are happening today. I'm tired of all the fake outrage, and I'm really tired of people that are purposely forgetting past events because it's more convenient for them in the present right now. So what I'm talking about is, first, you have Donald Trump and a lot of his supporters. They're still trying to overturn the 2020 election. They still believe that there's evidence that needs to be brought to people's attention. They want to have hearings, and believe it or not, tomorrow they're actually having a big rally, or they're supposed to have a big rally in DC. I believe it's called Stop the Steal. So you have that going on, and on the other side of the aisle, the Democrats are just throwing their hands in the air, and they're like, hold up, we don't want to hear anything about voter fraud. It was a clean election. It's time to transition. Just shut up. And they're just also claiming how this is such a threat to democracy. Trump and his supporters, they need to be ripped from power. The supporters need to be re-educated. This has never happened before. Oh my God, the world is ending. So this particular video is because I think Democrats largely either forget or purposely forget what they did during the 2016 to 2020 timeframe. There was a lot of things that went on in regards to how they felt about the 2016 election. So this video is going to be largely for them. But if you're someone that's either a Trump person or you're somewhere in the middle, I think you're going to enjoy this one as well. But as I already mentioned, this is a little more geared towards those that consider themselves Democrats, at least this time around. So do me a favor. It's time for you to get a taste of your own medicine. So sit back, put those listening ears on, and shut your mouth. In order to lay this one out for today, we need to take a trip to the past, and I'm talking about 2016. And I'm not looking at the presidential election right now, we're looking at the debates first. So it was between then just Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, both candidates, but they had a question asked to them, and the question went something along the lines of, if you were to lose the election, would you accept the results? So Donald Trump said back then that he wouldn't accept the election results, and he would want to know that he lost clean and fair. So this right here really started escalating to where people would say, well, Donald Trump is a threat to our democracy. He's unfit for president. Whereas Hillary Clinton on the other side, well, she gave the nice political answer, and she said, of course I would accept the results because that's a democracy, and we have to listen to the American people. Don't worry, we'll talk about that a little bit more, because now we're going to fast forward to the 2016 election, and if you recall, Donald Trump defeated Hillary Clinton. Yeah, the polls were wrong, so the Clinton campaign probably thought it was going to be a complete landslide. So when they found out, oh, you're trailing by, thousands of votes in all these states you thought you were up like 6 points in, well, they started demanding a recount. Funny how their minds changed, because 2 months prior, they were talking about how, no, we're going to accept the results because that's what you have to do in a democracy. And then they started realizing, oh boy, we're losing. We thought we were going to win everything by a landslide, but we're losing, so now we have to contest the results. And that's what they did. They contested those results. And then, once they found out it was official, hey, these votes indeed went to Donald Trump, you lost the election, then the Clinton supporters took it to the streets. Nationwide protests, hashtag not my president, threat to our democracy, unfit for president, he will not divide us, all over the place. I remember I was in college and there was a little bit of a protest on the main campus where people were saying those exact things. If only we knew at that point in time that things were only getting started, because boy did things snowball from there. Immediately following all of the protests in the streets, then you had all the talk on all the mainstream news outlets. There was Russian collusion, interference from foreign governments. You had phone calls going on. The Trump campaign was talking with other countries, Vladimir Putin, all these things. And the list just kept piling. It kept growing bigger and bigger. Then you had the Steele dossier, where I believe that's where they were saying how there indeed was Russian collusion between the Trump campaign and the Kremlin, right? And then you had the Mueller report, right? This was obviously years in the making, where they didn't have the evidence to convict Donald Trump of foreign collusion, right? Or being a foreign asset. After the Mueller report, you had tons of Democrats calling for Trump's impeachment. We have to go through with it. It's now or never. And you might not know, but when the Electoral College was certified back in 2017, there were people actively calling for Trump's impeachment then, before he even got sworn in. So that just lets you kind of know where their minds were, immediately knowing, oh man, Trump's going to be our next president. But getting back to the impeachment, you have the impeachment, and it's partisan as can be. You have all Democrats pretty much vote for it. You have no Republicans go for it, but there's no evidence. And the reason they did that was because they wanted just to have some sort of a stain on Donald Trump's presidency. But understand this, if there was evidence of Donald Trump colluding with a foreign government or obstructing justice or whatever it was they charged him with, it would have been found. Because establishment Democrats and Republicans don't like the guy. They didn't like him when he announced he was running at first. They didn't like him then during the impeachment, and they sure as hell don't like him now. So Donald Trump was a constant reminder that he beat the system. He and his supporters beat Washington at their own game. So that's why they wanted to get rid of him any way they could. So the impeachment goes through. And sure enough, they do impeach him. But obviously they don't get the votes to remove him from office. What I'm trying to say is Democrats, from the start of the 2016 election, when the vote was certified, all the way up to now, you had tons of them saying, we're not going to call Trump President Trump because that's going to undermine what the presidency is. He's unfit to be president. He's the commander-in-chief. He's an illegitimate president. Then you have the Mueller report. You have the phony impeachment. The list goes on. And this is what Democrats did for the past 4 years. And now they want to have tears in their eyes when they say Republicans won't accept the results and they're trying to challenge it. You see that violin in Donnie T's hand? There it is, right there. I'm playing you a nice song right now. I don't want to hear your tears. This is the medicine that you made. So it's time for you to take a taste of it, okay? I don't want to hear about, oh, Republicans, they're a threat to democracy. And no, we need to get rid of all Republicans. We have to re-educate them, re-educate those supporters. They don't know what's going on in this country. If Joe Biden is indeed going to be our next president, and he's sworn in on Inauguration Day, I'll have to say it. Joe Biden is the 46th president. But maybe, just maybe, if you're someone that voted for Joe Biden and you're lost right now wondering, well, why is it that Republicans are refusing to accept the election results? Hopefully you made it to this point in the video and maybe you understand a little bit more. And maybe even if you don't understand, hopefully if 4 years goes by and you kind of get to hear the auditory mirror that Trump and his supporters had to hear from 2016 to 2020, if you have to go through what they had to go through these past 4 years, maybe then you'll have a change of heart. But if not, I'll keep playing that little violin for you because I'm not going to have a single tear for you. And you get what you deserve. You made your bed, time for you to lie in it. What goes around comes around. I could say it a million different ways, but hopefully you know where I stand right now. So that's the video for today. Hopefully you understand my opinion at the very least. Let me know. Do you disagree with me? Do you agree with me? Are you somewhere in the middle? Let me know, because these are just my thoughts. And I want to know your thoughts, because this channel is for you. But as always, I appreciate you checking out the video, and I hope to see you again sometime soon.